Start now.
Yeah, we can.
So, good morning to the speaker, Dr. Kali Prasanna Sethi, and all the construction professionals who have logged in. So, welcome to the 52nd webinar today. In fact, we had completed almost 51 webinars, and most of you would also be aware that 50th webinar we had with the Bureau of Indian Standards on NBC 2016. So we have this series of webinars so that all of us can be updated, can interact with each other, can connect with each other through this particular medium. So this is today's is a 52nd webinar. Now, just a small announcement that from 22nd June to 26th June, in collaboration with ACC Goa Center, we are having something exclusive on liquid retaining structures because there is a lot of works that is going on water storage, tanks and all that. So we thought that this area would be of interest to many of the construction professionals. So on 22nd and 23rd June, we have an exclusive webinar on IS 3370, part 1 and part 2, which deals with the liquid retaining structures, RCC structures and all that. So we would also request all the participants to go through this code so for better participation. And if you have any questions, you can come during the session and or during the webinar itself, you can post it. The reason is that we have engineer LK Jain from Nagpur, who has been the man behind this code and who has been doing a lot of contribution in this particular code. So he would be able to answer many of the queries as far as IS 3370 is concerned. So I would request all the professionals to be prepared on this, go through it, see what all questions come to your mind, and then maybe post it during the webinar. On 12th June, as you know, we had the sustainability approach, and this particular session is also there on Facebook, as well as we have posted it on our YouTube also. So those of you who have missed this particular talk by engineer Sanjay Pant and others, we had Amur Kool and engineer Madhumita Madhav also. So all the three, they spoke about sustainability approach, and the integration that is required to achieve sustainability was covered. You can go through this if you have not attended this session, and it is very useful because National Building Code 2016 itself is so comprehensive. So today's topic is on performance characteristics of self-compacting concrete using industrial slag for aggressive environment. All of you know that concrete is being used in different environment. We have the different exposure conditions that are there. So based on that, we need to look at the characteristics of concrete. I'm sure that this topic would be very useful. So today's speaker, he completed his degree in civil engineering from Anna University, Chennai. He followed by a M.Tech in structural engineering from NIT Rourkela. He was awarded PhD in civil engineering by School of Infrastructure, Indian Institute of Technology, Bhubaneswar. He achieved first position in the event technical paper presentation at IGIT Sarang, Odisha, and second position in the event technical paper presentation at DSSUT Burla, Odisha, both in 2011. He was awarded with Best Paper of Session Award at International Conference on Structural Engineering and Mechanics at NIT Rourkela, Odisha in the year 2013. He has research interest in self-compacting concrete, optimum use of waste mineral admixtures, high performance concrete, use of mineral and chemical admixtures, durability parameters of concrete, permeability, corrosion, chemical attack, non-destructive testing techniques. I'm sure that this topic would evince a lot of interest. So Ramco Cements, as all of you know, just a brief about the organization also. It's a flagship company of the Ramco Group, which Ramco Group itself started in the year 1930s, 1938. Ramco Cement started in the year 1961. So we have a rich experience in the area of cement manufacturing. And based on the customer's requirement, the concrete requirements, we have 12 brands of cement, which is customized to each concrete requirement. Because as we all know, when we used to do our engineering at that time, there was only one grade, M20, for a specific application. But nowadays, you see, M20 can be for various applications. It can be for normal site works. It can be for pumping concrete. It can be for precast works. So based on the applications, you will find that M20 itself is designed differently based on different applications. So like that, we have 12 brands of cements. The cement is manufacturing in 8 state-of-the-art units, that is the manufacturing units, which includes integrated plants as well as grinding units. Presently, our capacity is 16.5, which is expected to be 20 million tons per annum. With our expansion at various places, integrated plant is coming up at Kurnool, and we have our grinding unit in Odisha, and then our grinding unit expansion is there in Kolkata. So all those expansion is there. So this is happening at various places. And we also have a ready mix concrete division and a dry mix product plant at Sri Perumbudur in Chennai. We also operate one of the largest wind farms in the country. And when we talk about sustainability, I think we also need to look at the energy requirement, and that's why we are also into the wind farms. We also have Ramco Systems, the IT firm, which is just near IIT Madras in Chennai itself, the office. So you can just see. And we also have a research center, the Ramco Research and Development Center, where we do a number of works on cement and concrete, various concrete mix designs, various types of concrete. Like as the speaker today is going to talk about self-compacting concrete, there are many challenges when we produce self-compacting concrete, different kind of test, which is different from the conventional concrete. So we have this different types of cement. Ordinary Portland cement, we have 4 types of cement. The Infra 43, Infra 53 grade is for those concrete which needs longer slump retention time. We have the super fast for precast works. We have the PPC cement, super grade, super crete, super fine, super plus. Ramco Super Crete is one of those premium blended cement which has having a high rate of gain of strength as well as low heat of hydration. We have the Portland Slag Cement, Ramco Super Steel, Ramco Samudra. We have the SRC Cement, the Ramco Super Coast. So this is how we have the 12 types of cements which are there. A wide array of customers that we have, from the individual householders, house builders, to large construction firms, Larsen & Toubro, which engages itself in construction of various types of structures, whether it be, for example, whether it be bridges, whether it is in the area of ports, and you will find that ITD cementation also, they are into a lot of infrastructure works. So you will find that in each of these infrastructure works, we have a different kind of requirements. If suppose the durability requirement is for aggressive environment, we have a different type of condition that is there. So the concrete mix design has to be done differently. When we talk about self-compacting concrete, we need to have a concrete which has to be without vibration. When we have precast concrete, we need to be very thorough on how to make those precast concrete at a plant kind of thing, and then transport those precast items to the site. So there are so many challenges, so many different variety of concretes that can be made at different sites based on the customer requirement, based on the aggressive conditions. So civil engineers have a great responsibility today to understand the properties of materials and then customize it based on the site conditions and based on the customer requirements. So we have a lot of responsibility. So that is why we need to update ourselves. It is not materials alone that is important. Materials plus process plus the approach that we follow. All these three helps us make a good quality concrete. I mean, that is this thing. And I do not want to take much of the speaker's time. Let us listen to him about self-compacting concrete using slag in aggressive conditions. Over to you, Dr. Kali Prasanna Sethi, for your presentation. You can, I think, upload the presentation if you have, and you can start off. Thank you so much. I think there is some, you have muted your this thing, yeah. Please unmute it.
Yes. Sorry, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible now. You are audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir, for your brief introduction. Good morning to all the participants and all the organizer team. I would like to wish you happy Rosa to all the participants because I too belong to from this Odisha state. So we have a festival over here for 3 days, and today is the last day of that festival. So after that also means a lot of participants are joining means it is a great thing for us. So without wasting the precious time of our participants, I would like to move towards my today's presentation. So I'm sharing my presentation, okay? Visible, sir? Okay.
It's visible, clear.
Okay, sir. So, as you can see from the topic title, that is Pochmann's characteristics of self-compacting concrete using industrial slag for aggressive environments. So you need to understand what is the definition for performance. Performance is nothing but the ability to perform against the means aggressive environments. As you know, concrete structures may be constructed nearby the sea source, or it may be submerged inside the sea water, and there may be a chance of lots of this aggressive like chloride and acids, sulfates may ingress into your concrete, and there might be a chances of deterioration of your concrete. So in that in that point of view, means as we are designing self-compacting concrete for our to perform the concrete well in the case of aggressive environments. So next to water, you know, means nowadays means it is very highly consumable material is concrete. So concrete, you know, the manufacturing of concrete is it's a mixture of your cement, sand, fine aggregate, and coarse aggregate. So all these are means you are getting from your natural resources. Yeah, so you know the vast use of this concrete may affect your natural resources. That's why we must have to think before all the natural resources get finished, and that's why we are planning to utilize some means this waste material like industrial slag for the development of our concrete, for which we are talking about today topic. So here is the structure of presentation. As you can see, it's starting from introduction, follows by materials and mixed methodology, and fresh and mixed mechanical characteristics, durability characteristics, corrosion characteristics, as well as summary and conclusion. So let go to the introduction part of the today's topic. The background behind this concrete, the fundamental parameters which control the durability of concrete, you know, first one is your water cement ratio. Yeah, as we already aware of this water cement ratio curve, that if you will increase the water cement ratio, our strength will decrease. And the second one is the degree of compaction of the concrete. The first one, water cement ratio, which is which can be controlled by the mixed design itself, means in theory itself. But the second one, compaction of the concrete, that is strongly influenced by the care and the quality of workmanship. Means if you won't care, if you won't take care of your concrete at the time of placing, you may get very means bad result. You may not achieve the proper strength of your concrete. Hope all of you will agree with this point. So let me clear this this point in the next slide. So here is the next slide. As you can see in this diagram, in this picture, when we are placing the fresh concrete in such type of vertical structures, I mean column structures, inside the framework, what exactly is happening, we means unable to know. But after hardening, after 24 hours, when we are demolding the framework, if we will find similar honeycombing or voids inside the structure, it is you can imagine how difficult it will be to repair such type of structures, and how it will become totally uneconomical to repair this such structures. And nowadays we are talking about dynamic structures, earthquake structures. In such type of structures, we are trying to make the beam column joint very means denser with the reinforcement. So in this particular figure, you can see it is very difficult to means put some external device, means external compaction device. You can say your needle vibrator and other means of external device for compaction purpose. So still it is complicated, I can say still it is complicated in such areas to use conventional concrete where compaction is a mandatory thing. So talking about self-compacting concrete, as the name suggested that self-compacting concrete is means it should flow under its own weight. So in the year 1986, Professor Okamura in the University of Tokyo, Japan, he has developed this self-compacting concrete in order to satisfy the concern regarding homogeneity, compaction, overall durability, and the lack of labors, means lack of skill labors. So this is the factor behind the development of self-compacting concrete. And self-compacting concrete, as you know, is a highly flowable concrete, so it can flow under its own weight and yet cohesive enough to be handled. And sometimes self-compacting concrete maintains its homogeneity without segregation. Though we are making the concrete flowable, there may be a chance of segregation, but we have to take care of such things to avoid segregation. And self-compacting concrete could be capable of filling every corner of the formwork. Means it should have a very good passing ability, and it should pass all the means it should pass with along with the aggregates, coarse aggregates, through the reinforcement without blocking or without any external device for compaction. So from these images you can see means the of this self-compacting concretes, how flowable it is. So without means giving any external force, it is flowing from the pan to our this trolley, and it can be easily placed inside the formwork. And some superiority, I can say, some advantages of this self-compacting concrete over our conventional concretes. So it have a faster construction quality, reduction in site manpower, though we no need to go to the site with any this vibration equipment. Better surface finishes will achieve, easier placing option will be there, improved durability, reduced noise levels, and safer working environment, though we are not using any electrical devices for compaction purpose, and reduction in the cost of concrete, though we are adding some external means this waste materials for the development purpose. And this is the structure mixed proportion given by Professor Okamura in the year 2000. So he tried to give a means a tentative this difference between our conventional and self-compacting concrete. As we know, means for every design purpose, we have to assume 2% of air void to make the 1 cubic meter of concrete. So that is there. And in talking about water, so water is 18% in both the cases, I mean in normal and self-compacting concrete cases. And powder in the case of self-compacting concrete, it is mentioned as powder, whereas in normal concrete it is mentioned as cement, because we know it is a mixture of cement, sand, coarse aggregate, and water. But in the case of self-compacting concrete, though we are increasing the means powder content to make to achieve more paste in our self-compacting concrete. So to achieve more paste, we have to increase the amount of cement. But if we will increase the amount of cement, we may get a rich mix, and we may increase the cost of the concrete. That's why we try to use waste material, which is slag, industrial slag, for the development purpose. And talking about sand, it is almost similar. And in the case of self-compacting concrete, we have to take care of the coarse aggregate. The coarse aggregate should not be more than, means the size of the coarse aggregate should not be more than 20 mm, because the paste, the coarse aggregate should flow along with the paste. If the size will be more, it may not flow with the paste, and it may not go inside the dense reinforcement structures. And in the self-compacting concrete, there is a mandatory admixture, chemical admixture required, that is your super plasticizer. Though we are increasing our powder content, so if we increase powder content, to manage powder content, we have to increase the water, but to make the concrete flowable. But if you will increase the water content, as well the means what if you will increase the water content, you may drastically reduce our strength of our concrete. That's why without increasing the water content, if you will use such high range of water reducing admixture, super plasticizer, then we can achieve the same flowability without decreasing our strength. And one more thing, though we are making the concrete flowable, we have to take care of this means segregation also. So if we find some segregation in our concrete, then we will go for the viscosity modifying agent, that is VMA. That is also another chemical admixture to make the concrete more viscous and to give a resistance to segregation. And so that is the beauty of this self-compacting concrete, you can say. So coming to next slide. Though this is a means project conducted at our laboratory, so for this project we have set our objectives, like to develop a mixed design methodology by incorporating slag into self-compacting concrete based on efficiency concept, and to carry out experimental investigations on self-compacting concrete over the range of strength and percentage replacement levels, and the effectiveness effectiveness of the proposed methodology in achieving the required strength. Third objective is to assess the performance of these well-designed concretes for their durability assessment in aggressive environments. Fourth one, to study the performance of these concretes against the corrosion of steel in structures. With these objectives, we will go to towards the materials and mix design methodology. As we already discussed that we are using industrial slag over here. So let me clear about the industrial slag. It is the byproduct from your iron and steel industry. So that is granulated blast furnace slag that is recovered by melting separation from blast furnaces that produce molten pig iron. So approximately 290 kg per each ton of pig iron is generated. So that is means available in a means in very huge amount. So means this waste is available freely. So we can means utilize this waste for the development purpose without any hesitation. And you can see the chemical composition of cement and this slag. It contains almost similar silica content as like cement, and the blend surface area, it is 370 meter square per kg for cement, whereas the industrial slag which we used here have a surface area of 430 meter square per kg. So it is more finer than our cement which we have used for the design of self-compacting concrete. So for the means design purpose, means we IS 10262 for the design of conventional concrete, but for the design of self-compacting concrete, we have used this European guidelines, that is nothing but EFNAR guidelines. So as per EFNAR guideline, they have given some ranges to decide the parameters of volume of paste in liter per meter cube. That should be in this 300 to 380, and powder content. That means yeah, you should not be confused with this powder content. Powder is nothing but, though we are not using cement alone here, so we are using both cement and the slag. So instead of saying cement plus slag, I am saying that it is powder content, and it is given in the range of 380 to 600 kg per meter cube. And water content, that should be within this range 150 to 210 kg per meter cube as per FNR guideline. Fine aggregate in total aggregate, that is 48 to 55%. And size of coarse aggregate, like I already told that it should be means lesser, the size of this aggregate should be less than 20 mm. Yeah, this is the mixed design methodology which we have used for the development purpose. As we know, in a conventional concrete, the water to cement ratio is generally the parameter that defines the strength. Provided adequate compaction is ensured. But here you can see from the figure 1, just a second. Yeah. As you can see from this figure, this is nothing but the Abraham's law, water cement ratio law. You can see this is plotted between water cement ratio to strength, and you can see the curve which is be placed only in the case for fully compacted concrete. But at the time of placing the fresh concretes in the at the site, at the for framework, if we won't take care of the compaction, it may drastically reduce of this. Without means you may not find this curve in this position. You may find somewhat it will drop to this position, and the strength and water cement value you will find different than what you will achieve for this fully compacted concrete. And also in conventional concrete, the water content is fixed based on the maximum size of aggregate, that is you can say 186, I think so, for 20 mm aggregate. And aggregate grading, and in this and the case of self compacting concrete, the total fines means the powder content is of importance. First we have to fix the powder content, then only we have to proceed for other other materials. And in view of this, we came up with the step 1, that is fixing of the total cementitious or powder content for SCC. As in the previous slide we had discussed. It is not going. Okay, let it be. So you can see we have fixed here the total cementitious material, that is preferable to have this around 550 kg per meter cube. Though we already in the previous slide I had shown you that I think other these switches are not working for my system.
Slide is not moving, is it?
Yeah, slides are moving, but it is not going back.
Oh, is it? I think if you can just, what you do is that you uncheck that share content and again check in.
Okay. So should I stop sharing?
Stop sharing and then again start sharing. Then it will be all right.
Okay, thank you.
You want to go back, is it?
Yeah, it is fine now. Thank you. From the FNR guidelines, as per the parameters, this powder contents we have to set in between this range 380 to 600, Based on this, we have set our powder content as 550 kg per meter cube. And you can understand why we have chosen these parameters from FNR guidelines, which I already shown you. And in the next step, what we did, we fixed the percentage. Once we fixed our powder content, we fix the percentage of industrial slag and calculate the efficiency also. So from earlier research, it is known that for normal slag concretes, the slag content can be varied from 10 to 80%. So here is the here is the diagram. It is given by Babu and Kumar in the year 2000. So this graph is plotted between the slag percentage to 28-day compressive strength. So maximum possible percentage replacement can be done with compressive strength. So if anybody want to design a M60 concrete, so with this, from this curve you can find the what will be the corresponding slag percentage replacement. It will around 60 to 65%. So according to this curve, we have set our slag replacement for the design purpose. And for the development of self-compacting concrete, here the same concept is extended. Like in this procedure, the 20-day efficiency factor, so I'm talking about efficiency. So efficiency is nothing but the efficiency factor, that is nothing but the K value is defined as the portion of the pozzolanic material. Pozzolanic material we are using here slag. So it is defined as the portion of pozzolanic material like slag or fly ash, etc., that can be considered equivalent to the Portland cement. So if we'll have a value of K is equal to 1, indicates that in terms of the compressive strength of the pozzolanic material is equivalent to cement. So so let me go to the slide. Okay, so 20-day efficiency factors. So here from this figure you can see, this is also given by Babu and Kumar in the year 2000. So this is the curve plotted between replacement of slag to efficiency factor, that is K value. So if we replace slag up to 80%, then we have to check the K factor value means somewhat around 0.7 or 0.71 like that. So with this factor value, we have to multiply this K factor with our slag percent to get the equivalent cement content in our total cementitious material. So once we fix the slag percentage based on the efficiency method, we have gone to the third step, that is calculation of water content in self-compacting concrete. The quantity of the slag is multiplied by K value as I told value to estimate the equivalent cement content, and using modified SCI relationship, that is water cement ratio. This is the modified SCI curve plotted between water cement ratio to 28-day compressive strength. So you can see here, though we are using only in conventional concrete case, we are using only this cement, so it is on water cement ratio. But in the case of self compacting concrete, instead of cement we are using cement plus this slag, and slag is with efficiency concept factor, we have to equivalent the slag as cement. So here is the formula, W by C plus K multiplied by G, that is nothing but K factor, efficiency factor with your slag. So to make the slag equivalent to cement, we made this, and this is the water cement ratio for our condition for our self compacting concrete. And in the step 4, we determined the coarse and fine aggregate content. You can see it is now possible to assess the total aggregate content according to the absolute volume method as like in in your conventional concrete, the fine aggregate content in the total aggregate is generally recommended to be in the range of 48 to 55%, that already shown in the table provided by FNR. And the present reduction is based on the continuous grading curves. So from this grading curves, you can see the gradation of the size of aggregates we have used for the development of normal and self-compacting concrete. So here is the DIN A curve. This is the DIN A standard, and to get a best fit to this DIN A standard, we have taken 36, 26, 18, and 20% of 20, 12, 6, and sand aggregates for normal to develop normal concrete, and for self-compacting concrete, that is we followed standard DIN B grading curve, and we decided to take 20% of 20 aggregate, 27 pipe, and 48% of these materials for the design purpose of self-compacting concrete. After fixing all these materials for the development purpose, we have to select the super plasticizer, that is high range water reducer dosage, and based on the experience, that is based on the trial and error in our laboratory, found that the dosage levels should be between 0.9 to 1.5% of the total cementitious powder content, that is cement plus slag, which are used here. And this is all about the mix details, and based on these mix details, we set the outlines, the flow chart of these mix details. We selected materials. We have checked for strength selection, fixed the total cementitious materials, and with these flow charts, we came up with a trial mixtures, and which we conducted press mix at our laboratory. And once we get satisfaction result for the press concrete, we can finally go for the development of self-compacting concrete. If won't satisfy, we have to redesign the concrete. And this is the mixed details, details of the concrete investigated for this project. You can see strength grade of 20 to 100 MPa we have designed both for normal and self-compacting concrete, and slag replacement of for 20 MPa concrete we have replaced the slag up to 90%, whereas for 100 MPa we have replaced the slag up to 30% only. And the concretes developed here as designated as NC and SCC. And this is the mixed details of the concrete developed. So from this you can see the total powder content. For all the self-compacting concretes, it is fixed to 550 kg per meter cube. And this is the slag percentage, cement content, water content, K factor, efficiency factor, and based on this efficiency factor, we have calculated the water cement ratio for this design purpose. And this is the super plasticizer and VMA dosage which we have used for this self-compacting concrete. And once we decided for development of self-compacting concrete, we have to go for press mix. So though you know, for conventional concrete, we have test like Sloan cone test, VV test, and flow table test, and etc. So from that we can check the press property of conventional concrete. But in the case of self-compacting concrete, the matter is something different. We have to go through certain tests which is provided by FNR guidelines. So though we are developing flowable concrete, we have to check the flowability, as well as we have to check the viscosity and the passing ability. for all these things, we have to conduct certain tests like flowability, viscosity, and passing ability test. So flowability is nothing but the S of flow of fresh concrete when unconfined by formwork and or reinforcement. And viscosity is the measure of fluid's resistance to flow. And passing ability is nothing but the ability of fresh concrete to flow through tight openings such as spaces between steel reinforcing bars without segregation or blocking. From the right side, from the diagram, you can see the tests taken place at our laboratory. And we'll go for the tests for flowability test that is conducted by this slump flow test. Here is the apparatus, slump flow apparatus. You can see this is the plate which having a marking of 200 and 500 diameter. We have to keep our slump cone like this and fill the cone with the concrete. Once we remove the cone, immediately we have to take reading of the duration to reach the concrete up to D500 means this diameter. And same time we have to take the reading of the maximum diameter the concrete reaches. From that we can check the fresh property of the concrete developed as per the criteria given by FNR guidelines. And here is the viscosity test which is conducted by using V-funnel apparatus. So as you can see from the diagram pictures, so we are pouring the concrete inside this V-funnel, and here is a sorter hinge trap door. So once we remove the trap door, we have to take the reading of this flow time, means how much time it taken to get empty from this V funnel and get into this bucket. And from this we can there is the range given in FNR guideline. So from that guideline we can check certify this concrete as self-compacting concrete. And here is the passing ability test conducted by L box test. So you can see from the this schematic diagram. So there is reinforcement provided inside this L box, and the concretes are allowed to pass through this reinforcement. So once we remove this plate, the concrete starts flowing to this end to this end. So this is measured by using this H1 height and H2 height. By with this ratio H1 by H2 ratio, we can find the passing ability. So here is the limitations, means the guidelines given by FNR European code. From if the slump flow, that is maximum flow, is will remain between this 550 to 650 or 660 to 750. This will be categorized as SF1 or SF2 or SF3. And viscosity class, like it, if the flow duration will be less than 8 second, it will be categorized as VF1, and 9 to 25 is VF2. And for passing ability, if it will be greater than 0.8 second with 2 rivers, it will be categorized as PA1, and PA2 for more than 0.8 with 3 rivers. So here is the trace property results tabulated in this table. So you can see this is the slag percent replacement, paste volume, second, which we have discussed, and this is the D max value. You can see 795, 785, 755, 7. So all I think means all the slump flow values are coming with this range, SF2 and SF3. And this is the L box ratio S2 by S1, 0.95, 0.89. You can see all are this is on this, though we are using 3 bar L box. So this is categorized as PA2. This is the value for V funnel seconds in duration. That is 18.9, 19.21, 20, 24, 28. So from this you can see this is categorized as VF and VF1 and VF2. So once we certify the concrete as fresh means as self-compacting concrete, so we can move towards the for mechanical property check. And though we are developing flowable concretes, there may be a chance of segregation, and there may be a chance of settlement of the means coarser aggregate at the bottom of this your frame structures or mold. But you can see here there is all the concretes which we have developed, that self-compacting concretes from 20 MPa to 100 MPa, showing a very good uniform means uniform distribution of these aggregates throughout the samples. So you can say it is a very good concrete, means showing very good fresh properties. So with this we'll move towards our mechanical properties like compressive strength, splitting tensile strength, elastic modulus strength of the developed concrete. So here is the graphical formation of the observed result which we have obtained by using CTM machine for compressive test. And from the graph, it is plotted between the duration ages in days with compressive strength. So this is we have tested it for 3 days, 7 days, 28 days, and 90 days. Though you know the there is secondary reactions which is taking place in the case of this supplementary materials. When you use supplementary material, so we have checked the 90-day strength for self-compacting concrete. So here is the results of our compressive strength, and you can see for the 20 MPa concrete at 28 days we are getting more than 30 or nearby 30, and at 90 days we are getting more than 30 MPa. And for all the cases you can see we are getting beyond the expectation what we tried to design for. And you can see for all the cases in the self-compacting concrete at 90 days still we are getting some increment of strength, whereas there is negligible increment, or there is no increment. I can say there is no increment at 90 days for normal concretes. This is the curve plotted for 100 MPa concrete. So here the strength which we found, it is nearby 100 only. We didn't got a very a higher value for this, but we achieved for what we designed, that is nearby 100 MPa. And this is the splitting tensile curve, which is between 90-day strength to splitting tensile strength, and we tried to give a good trend in between self-compacting and normal concretes. So you can see with the increase of this grade, the splitting tensile strength is also increasing. So for both the cases we are achieving near about or more than 5 MPa for splitting tensile. And as you know, for a structural purpose we need only 2 to 2.5 MPa splitting tensile value. And for elastic modulus also we are getting very good results. You can see strength, and this is the curve plotted between strength and elastic modulus, and this is the curve. This is also showing a very good result. It is it is showing more than 40 GPa. And here is the strength characteristic characteristics which we found for our strength by using CTM machine. So from this you can see there is a very negligible or very minimum deviation for all the samples which we have tested for the compressive strength. And here is the other mechanical characteristics which we have investigated in this project, that is NDTs like rebound hammer, ultrasonic pulse velocity test, splitting tensile test, and modulus of elasticity test. So you can see all the values of 3, 7, 28 and 90 days of this rebound hammer test. We are achieving very good results, and it is similar to the result which we obtained from using the CTM machine. And UPV also giving a 4.5 value at 90 days. And if you check the IS standard, that is IS 13311 1992, as per this standard, if the pulse velocity readings will be more than 4.5 kilometer per second, the concrete will be categorized as excellent concrete. So you can see from this result, 90 days strength we are achieving more than 4.5. That means we are getting a very good concrete, and this is the results of split tensile and modulus test. So here this is the autogenous shrinkage. As you know, the autogenous shrinkage is nothing but the uniform reduction of internal water due to hydration of cement when it contacts with water. This is particularly considerable in the case of high strength concrete, where we use more quantity of cement. So for that, though we are trying to develop high strength concretes like 60, 90 and 100s, so we have planned for this autogenous shrinkage test. So for this we prepared the samples like you can see from the figures. And these are the samples for autogenous shrinkage test with this prisms 7.5 by 28.5 centimeter prisms. Now we have coated the samples with wax, and further it is wrapped with aluminum foil, and both the side of the prisms are fixed with these steel balls of 6 mm for taking the calculation of this height reduction or the shrinkage volume by using this length comparator. And we have taken the readings up to 100 days, and from this you can see for M20 MPa concrete M20 we are achieving means this shrinkage value maximum up to 0.07 mm, and for others maximum 0.12. Here in the case M30 0.14 on 15, 0.18, and in the case of 100 it is 0.16 mm only. So you can see it is very negligible. You can say it is very negligible amount of shrinkage which we obtained from this study. So this may be due to the fines content in the high strength concretes which we developed, which we as we already discussed that the slag which we used here of more fine than that of our cement. So that may be due to that effect. And this is the bar charts of the same values, which for easy understanding you can see. So the maximum shrinkage value we obtained is 0.16 or 0.17. And once we finished our this mechanical property characteristics, we justified the mechanical characteristics. We have to go for the performance characteristics, for which we we tried to develop the concrete, that is durability characteristics of this concrete. For that, we have conducted a number of tests like for durability purpose, we have tested direct permeability test, water absorption test, acid attack test, and sulfate attack test. And for corrosion characteristics, we performed resistivity studies, alkalinity of concrete, that is pH value we found, and potential for chloride diffusivity studies, carbonation, and finally we also gone for corrosion rate analysis. So here is the means test which is performed by this German water permeability testing apparatus. So as you know, the durability is highly influenced by permeability. So means ingress of this external aggressive ions only affect your concrete. So we have to take care of our concrete by by checking all the parameters like permeability. For that, we have conducted this German water permeability test. You can see from the diagram. There is a base plate with solid support and clamps which tightened the 15 by 15 centimeter cube, that is block, and with a particular pressure, the water is means injected to the concrete, and readings means were taken at means in each means readings are taken for each 2 minutes up to at 2 minutes interval up to 30 minutes, and 5 minutes at 5-minute intervals up to 1 hour. And with the help of Darcy's law, we calculated the coefficient of permeability for this concrete, and we found this result for you can see this is the NC 20, I mean M20. This is the bar chart for M20, M30, M60, M90, and M100. So if you'll talk about this means this is showing like this. The means low strength concrete is showing more permeability value than the high strength concrete. So and though it is showing more value, but still as per the standard, that is concrete society, given in as per the concrete society, the coefficient, if the coefficient of permeability value is less than 100 to the power minus 14 meter per second, that is the concrete is categorized as good concrete. And you can see the maximum permeability value we got is 70, around 75. So you can say all the concretes which we have developed are showing a very good result for permeability value by using this German water permeability test. And this is another permeability apparatus to ensure more about the permeability. We have conducted another test for permeability characteristics as per DIN 1048 for part 5. So you can see at a time we can check 3 samples. With a 5-bar pressures, we fixed the samples in this apparatus, and we kept these samples up for 72 hours, and the pressure drop is checked means throughout the process, and now we have taken means after 72 hours we taken the means samples from the apparatus, and we broke the samples. You can see, and immediately after breaking the sample, we mark the samples with using this highlighter, because the permeability, it may means vanish due to evaporation. So by using scale, we just taken the readings of this means concretes. And here is the permeability depth which we observed from the test by taking the average from all the concretes. So 4.5 to so maximum we observed it is 4.5 mm. So you can see 4.5 is a very negligible means depth with if you consider the cover of the concrete, it is around 25 to 50, 25 mm to 50 mm. So it is categorized as a good resistance to permeability. And here is the absorption. We have conducted absorption test for all these concretes, and you know the procedure for absorption. And as per the ASTM standard, we have conducted this absorption test, and here is the value plotted between the times, that is in hours, to absorption percentage. Up to 72 hours we have checked taken the readings, and we observed the trend curves like this. So maximum percentage we found it is 4 for M100 M100, and for other concretes it is also showing a very less absorption value. Like you can see, it is 6, maximum value is 6 for normal concrete, and for self compacting concrete it is less than normal concrete. For all the cases you can see, means we found the self compacting concrete is showing very less absorption value than that of normal concrete. It is due to it is might be due to the fine contents in the self compacting concrete. So this is the table, means this is the bar chart plotted for 30-minute absorption values. And as per the standard concrete society, if the 30-minute absorption is remain falls in within 3%, the concretes are categorized as good concrete. So you can see we are all the concretes are under that limitation. So all the concretes, I can say all the concretes are showing very good absorption value. So here is the limitation. And this is the comparison of final absorption, that is plotted for 72 hours. So at 72 hours, we get a maximum of 6.5 percentage absorption value for M20 grade concrete. Here is the table for all those characteristics which we have found in the earlier slides. And coming for the acid attack studies, so acid attack, you know, concrete might be made for any chemical industry. So the surface or the floor of the concrete may directly come contact with the acid and sulfates or any chlorides. So for that we have checked the concrete for acid attack. And though you know this is a long-term process, so we tried to accelerate the process by using the H2SO for sulfuric acid solution of 3% for this test. For this test, so this is the test you can see from the diagram. The test is it is having 14 days cycle. So from that 14 days, 7 day will be for wetting and 7 day will be for drying purpose. Before wetting, we have to take the wet of the samples, and after 7 days we have to take out the samples from the acid solution. We have to wash the clean the samples, and we have to take readings, take the wet loss of the samples. And for every 7 days we tried like this, and we obtained the weight loss values for all the concretes for normal and self-compacting concretes. So here is the graphical representation of exposure time in days to weight loss of the concretes. So you can see for all the cases, self-compacting concrete having very less weight loss than compared to the normal concretes. So and in the case of high strength concrete, that is M90 and M100, you can see both both the self-compacting and conventional concrete are showing almost similar results, similar weight loss. It may be due to the presence of I think more cement content in the high strength concretes. So that is the result of this. But still we can say that we have a very good resistance to acid attack by self-compacting concrete, and you can see that from the diagram itself. So how leaching takes place in the case of normal concretes and self-compacting concretes. So after cleaning the concretes, we found the concretes like this. So this is the self-compacting concrete sample, and here is the normal concrete samples. So you can imagine the deterioration in quantity from the normal concretes. And this is the test results from starting from 7 days up to 70 days. And talking about sulfate attack studies, so this is also a similar procedure. So we have to check the concrete for alternate days on 7 wetting days and 7 drying days, and we have used to accelerate the procedure, we have used 15% MgSO for solution, and we found the result similar to acid attack values. All the self-compacting concrete for low grade concretes, low strength concretes, we found it is very less value as compared to normal concretes. But whereas in the case of high strength, it is almost similar values as with the normal concretes. This is the samples we obtained from after testing, and this is the sample of self-compacting concrete, and this is the sample for normal concrete. You can say spalling took place in the case of normal concrete, and weight loss observed in the normal concrete is more than that of self-compacting concrete. Here is the test results. Corrosion characteristics. This is the final means parameters which we have checked for in this project. Corrosion characteristics like we the concrete, you know, it is a reinforced cement concrete. Though the concrete is having reinforcement inside the concrete, if the chloride ingress will be there inside the concrete, there may be a chance of corrosion. Corrosion takes place in the reinforcement. For that, we have conducted certain tests to check the corrosion resistance, and here is the resistivity test which have been investigated in this project. So here we have used the means 4-probe technique. So you can see from the schematic diagram, this is here is the 4 probes. The current is passes through this means outer probe, where the voltage drop is calculated using this inner probes, and using this resistivity, that is rho equals to 2 pi a by a into v by I. So we calculated the resistivity for all the normal and self-compacting concretes. So here is the Means let me show you the value first. Yeah, these are the readings taken at 3, 7, 28, 90 and 120 days for all the normal and self-compacting concretes. So here is the graphical representation of the results plotted between age and resistivity. So both means all the self-compacting concretes having means showing very good result in resistivity, very good resistivity results with compared to our normal concrete. And here also for all the cases we are getting a very good resistance towards the chloride ion penetration. And you can say as per the standard ASTO TP95, if the resistivity value will be 37 to 254 range per centimeter, the concrete is having very low chloride penetrability. So from this this bar chart you can see as per this ASTO, so this is the range. This is the range plotted. This is 37 to 254. So this is 37 to 254. So all the concretes are within this range. Though it is normal and self-compacting concrete, both are showing the result of very good resistance to chloride and penetration. I'm going bit faster, so because the time is already 12:15. So, hello, sir.
How many more slides?
Uh, I have 10 to 15 more slides. So I
Okay.
will complete within
Because-
15 minutes.
Yeah,
Is it
because
okay?
we need to take some questions also, no? That's why, yeah.
Sure,
Please.
sure, sir. Okay. So here is the potential test of the concretes, developed concretes. So this is the indirect way to check the probability of corrosion. So for that we have taken silver chloride electrode to check the potential of our developed concrete. So from the schematic diagram you can see the samples of this is the samples which is designed for this potential test. Inside the this 10 by 20 centimeter cylindrical sample, we have provided a 8 reinforcement bar exactly at the middle of the cylinder, and the bar is connected with a low resistance, this copper wire, and that is connected to this voltmeter at the positive side, and the negative terminal is connected to this electrode, silver chloride electrode. And by using this method we calculated the potential values for our concrete. So here is the test result of the potentials, that is from 3 days to 120 days. And this is the graphical representation of all the concretes. As per the STM standard, you can see probability of corrosion is 5% if the potential value is greater than minus 120 millivolt, and so on 50 for this range, and 95 for if the potential value is less than minus 270. So you can see from this diagram easily you can understand for high strength concrete, that is M100. It is the for self compacting concrete, the values are almost showing very nearby values to 5%, and it is in the range of 50% probability. And for other concretes, it is flowing between the 5% probability corrosion rates. Yeah, this is the alkalinity or pH value we have performed, tested for this developed concrete. As you know, means there is a passive layer developed by the means if the pH value will be more in your concrete, the more will be the passive layer, which is nothing but a protective layer to your reinforcement to avoid corrosion. So for that we have checked the 90-day pH value of all our samples. So this is the results we found after testing. The core of the cubical samples we have taken and ground it up to 300 micron, and we mixed with distilled water, and using this digital pH meter we have tested all these samples for its pH value, and you can see all the values. It's showing a very good pH value, that is of 12, almost 12, around 12, and as per a threshold value of by Hobbes in 1988, he suggested that if the pH value is 10.5, corrosion from the inside the concrete. So here is next is our chloride diffusivity test, which is for concrete. So you can see the samples. This is the sample taken from a cylindrical 10 by 20 centimeter cylindrical sample. This is the core, and the core of the sample is taken for this chloride diffusivity test. And the periphery of the sample is coated with this enamel paint to ensure that no means this solution should go out by this way. And this is the lab setup for this chloride diffusivity test. And you can see these here is two reservoirs are there. One is containing NaCl solution and another is containing NaOH solution. By allowing the current passing through this, we charge the ions and try to attract the ions to each other. And by using this data logger, we records all the charge passed through it. And by this, we calculated all the chloride diffusivity values. And here is the results plotted as bar chart, and you can see maximum chloride diffusivity values in coulombs is shown in 2000, around 2500, and as per the ASTM standard, if it will be range between 1000 to 200 coulombs, the chloride permeability will be very low, and 100 to 1000 is very low, 1000 to 2000 is low. So from this you can see it is falling under this low to very low category. Here is the carbonation of the concretes investigated. Carbonation, you can say, means the concretes which we developed, we exposed the concretes for 1 year in the atmosphere, like in the top of the roof. So we allowed it to direct sunlight and rain. So after 1 year, we taken the samples, we broke the samples, and we just put the phenolphthalein solution, that is the indicator of carbonation. So from this diagram, you can see the color changes to pink. This is the unaffected area, and the parts which is showing, there is no changes of colors, is the affected area. So here is the samples which we tested, and this is the readings of the samples we observed after putting this phenolphthalein solution. So almost all the samples showing very zero very less value, and the sum of showing 7 mm, which is very negligible. And you can say it's a very good resistance concrete. And coming to corrosion test of the concrete investigated. So corrosion, like in this case, the sample preparation is very challenging. Was very challenging task for us, because we had to keep a 8 mm rebar inside exactly at the middle of the sample. You can see from this schematic diagram, and this rebar, this 8 mm bar which is you have to connect this bar with copper, insulated copper wire, and this sample have to be placed inside the chloride solution, and with using this ACM device, that is a fully computerized device, we have tested the corrosion analysis, and from this by potentiodynamic polarization technique, we found these graphs that between current and potential. So these are the graphs which was observed from the digital analyzer from the AC Gill corrosion equipment, and this is all the data, and you can see the data which obtained from this equipment, this digital equipment, this rest potential, that is potential and corrosion. So from this we calculated the corrosion rate, that is mils per year value. Mils per year value. So as per the Tulini et al. In 2004, they suggested that if the corrosion rate, that is mils per year, will be in this range, I mean 0.2 to 0.4 here. So 0.2 to 0.4, sorry, it is 0.2 to 0.4, it is moderate, and less than 0.8 to 0.2, it is low. So you can see it is 0.2 to 0.4, it is falling under moderate, and the high strength concretes are showing low corrosion rate as per the equipment. And this is the summary based on the work conducted in our laboratory. So this is we can conclude the conclude with this some of these points, like a new mixed design methodology was developed in this project that accounts for the efficiency of industrial slag in self-compacting concrete for a specified range, that is 20 to 100 MPa, while specifying limits to the paste, water and fine contents. And using the proposed methodology, self-compacting concrete of regular strength, that is 20 to 30 MPa, which we used to use in regular manner, could be produced at a cement replacement of about 80 to 90%, and higher strength grades of about 60 to 100 MPa could also be produced, that without with about a 60 to 30% with industrial slag replacement of cement. The developments of self-compacting concretes confirm the concrete's permeability coefficient value are found to be very good based upon the assessment criteria which is provided in Concrete Society, and the resistance of self-compacting concrete against chemical attack found superior compared to normal hydrated concretes. And for lower strength, that is up to 60 MPa, the deterioration was decreasing with increasing percentage of replacement, while for the higher strength concretes, the difference was marginal. And self-compacting concrete that is designed for the proper design mixed methodology exhibit a very good resistivity as per the ASTO criteria, and it also shown a very low chloride permeability as per the standard ASTM C120294. The alkalinity, that pH value of self-compacting concrete, was not significantly reduced, even at levels of around 90%. A low strength concrete of 20 MPa with 90% replacement showed a very good pH value around 12, which was much above the threshold value for deep passivation. And based upon the corrosion rates measured from the TEFL plots of potentiodynamic polarization studies, it can be said that self-compacting concrete are subjected to very low corrosion rates compared to normal concretes. And finally, it can be concluded that objectives of this present investigation, the development of high performance self-compacting concrete using industrial slag, was achieved, as the efficiency concept could be used for the design of self-compacting concrete mix at any percent of replacement of industrial slag below the maximum possible limits presented. So this is all about my today's presentation. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kalprasanna Sethi, It was a very good presentation on self-compacting concrete. So let's have some questions. In fact, there was one question from Professor Biswajit Jana. He was asking in this presentation development of SCC as per FNAR guidelines, that is European code. But why we are not developing SCC as per Indian code? Because now it is available now in Indian code itself.
Yes.
IS 10262 is also giving some kind of guidelines in the latest amendment.
Yes,
Why we are not following that guidelines is his question. Any answer for that?
Sir, actually, this project was developed in the year 2012. And you know, there is no direct method to calculate, means evaluate, design the self-compacting concretes as per Indian standards.
True.
So there is codes, means for manufacturing of cement using industrial slag or granulated slag only. I think so. So that's why we have used this FNAR guidelines for the development purpose.
Because it was at that point of time. Now we have available in the IS code because now they have given certain provisions for high strength concrete as well as for self-compacting concrete in IS 10262. We can,
Yes,
but,
we should.
But the fact is that we can take any guideline as long as it is working, it is better.
It's
the
not like
ultimate
that.
thing,
We should not follow Indian. We should
that's
follow
what
not like that. So
not like
all
any guideline we can follow, and if we are able to get the results, why not follow any guidelines? You know?
Yes. Because all are upon trial and error method. We have to test it in our laboratory. Then only we have to implement the mix at our site only. So that is the.
Another question from Mr. Manasaranjan Sahu is that the effect of water cement ratio on self-compacting concrete, how does it affect?
Water cement ratio. Question is not clear, sir. Once again, repeat, sir.
What is the role of water cement ratio? How does it affect? Like say, for example, if water cement ratio is more, what will happen in self-compacting concrete? If it is less, what will happen? That is the reason why we are adding admixtures.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. It is like conventional concrete. It is similar like conventional concrete. If it will be more, the strength will reduce. If it will be less, the strength will increase. So keeping that in mind, we have to design our self-compacting concrete. So though we are developing self-compacting concrete, we have to make it flowable, but we should not add more water. The water may reduce the strength of our concrete. That's why we are adopting this super plasticizer, which will means abnormally reduce your water content from your concrete.
And another thing is that we are adding this super plasticizer so that we can bring down the water cement ratio, and we can also get the workability. I mean that.
Yes. That is
why we are reading what you call water reducers. High range water reducers are being added. That is something very good.
Yes.
Another question from Mr. Lakshminarayan Pradhan is that Portland slag cement, can it be used for self-compacting concrete?
Portland slag cement. Yeah, why not? So means we are using this slag at the time of mix.
Yeah.
But same can be utilized directly if it is available in the market PSC. So it can be used for some development of slag cement.
But only thing is that when we are adding slag, we get that much flexibility. That is the basic idea when we are adding slag. But PSC, as you rightly said, can also be used for manufacture of for making self-compacting concrete.
Yes.
Another thing is that very basic question which has been asked by Mr. Lakshminarayan Pradhan again is the difference between Portland slag cement and Portland pozzolana cement. I think that I can answer. Portland pozzolana cement that we manufacture in cement plant is having a fly ash content between 15 to 35%, whereas Portland slag cement you can go from 25 to 70%. So that is a difference actually, in terms of blending material.
Yes, Indian standard also it is given the range how much percentage you can replace for manufacturing of this slag cement. And this cement chemistry is very much interesting, as means once you get to know about the chemistry behind the manufacturing of cement, you can play with the cements. What exactly you people are doing, as you are the manufacturer of cement. So you are playing with the cements by changing the property, changing the quantity of the compounds of the chemical compounds of the cement.
Correct. There is always the standards are also there. See, BAS standards are there, which is regulating that. So conforming to those standards, we can customize the cement to a specific requirement. Like, say, for example, if suppose you use slag cement with 70% slag and you use a PPC with 35% fly ash, you will find that there will be delay in setting time when you use slag cement.
Yes, yes.
The thing is that we also need to look at various properties, setting time of concrete, compressive strength
Every
of concrete
aspect,
at different
every
ages.
aspect of this you have to take care. Then only means you have to handle this concrete like your means baby. Then only you will get a very good result, a very good mechanical result, and very good performance result, durability result.
I think that's it. Most of the questions have been covered. I think some of the questions that are there you have already covered. Another question is, can we use it for pile foundation? From Mr. Sandeep Mohapatra is asking. Can we use self-compacting concrete for pile foundation?
Pile foundation. Exactly means we have not performed this means such type of test, but why not? We can use. But I don't.
The only thing is that economy is a problem, because for pile foundation normally we go for concrete with slump of 150 mm.
Yes,
So
yes.
why do we need to use self-compacting concrete? Because self-compacting concrete is only used for places where the area congested steel reinforcement.
Yes, yes.
Whereas for I think for pile foundation it can be used, but it will be costlier. I think economy is what matters at the end of it.
Yes.
Is there any other super plasticizer apart from PCE based available for developing SCC?
Yeah, it is available. So nowadays,
Of course, apart from PCE, because we have polycarboxylate admixture is being used. Is there any other apart from that? That is what he's asking.
Yeah, yeah, it is there. You have to check.
Correct. There's so many admixtures available.
Yes, yes, available.
And another thing is that in self-compacting concrete we are using viscosity modifier also. No, VMA is also being asked.
Yes.
Another question from Mr. Mahakud is how to decrease segregation of lightweight self-compacting concrete.
Segregation of lightweight
self-compacting concrete. How to decrease segregation?
So as it's a lightweight aggregate we are using, so there may be a very less possibility of segregation. So means you can minimize the dosage of BMA, or you may not add this BMA to in this design mix.
Correct. I think that's a fair good, because the thing is that as you rightly mentioned in your presentation also, segregation is one of the main challenges, because when you are increasing workability. So as you rightly pointed out, when you use lightweight aggregate, that much possibility of segregation is also lesser, because in case of heavier aggregate only it will settle down. Whereas in this case, you, as you rightly pointed out, you change the dosage of high range based on the thing. I think most of it is based on trials only. Yeah.
Yes, based on trials only we have to check, and then only we will take the concrete to the side.
That is why you have that flowing ability, passing ability, and viscosity.
So we have gone through so many tests. Then only we justified the concrete as self-compacting concrete.
Correct. I think that is because unless we don't do those tests, I think we should not go for self-compacting concrete.
Yes.
If superplasticizer concentration is more, then is there any effect on SCC? Is another question which is being asked by Mr. Sahu.
Yeah, definitely. So means it will affect. The concrete will become, means it will show more segregation. So you may find the interlocking between the paste and your aggregate, it will be drastically reduced. So means this is only for the purpose. And at the initial stage, I have mentioned that on the best our experience in our laboratory, we set the dosage amount, and that we set for our self-compacting concrete, that it can carry all the aggregates along with the paste. That is act as a lubricant for the aggregates, and all the aggregates will flow with the paste.
Of course, superplasticizer is more than what is required, as you rightly said. It can create a lot of problems. So why use more when you define the percentage itself during trials?
Yes.
One more test by Mr. Mukhopadhyay is that what are the tests that you would recommend for RCC block and tiles that we use in cable trenches? This is not related to this topic, but can you add something on this?
Yeah, you can pin this such type of questions to my email, so I will Yes, answer them later.
Because RCC block, I think most of the places, it is for compressive strength as well as for flexural strength that they are testing. So it all depends on what is the requirement, because as you rightly mentioned, even in your this thing, mechanical properties, you had gone for split tensile strength, flexural strength,
Yes.
modulus of elasticity, all those I think that can be used based on the requirement, because
Requirement
even,
only. Yes.
yeah. And tiles also we can do based on the requirement, because actually cable trenches, you'll have to see what are the loads that is coming because of the cable and all that.
Yes.
Of course,
When we
basic
found,
test that we can do is the compressive strength.
actually, when we found some possibility of such means deterioration or this shrinkage, then only we had
Correct.
to check those characteristics.
Okay, durability also we have
Yes.
to check.
Yes.
Because you had given a lot of tests now on water permeability as well as water permeability test, as well as you had the German permeability test also you had mentioned.
Yes. Yes.
So I think based on the aggressive environment, we can go for durability test also.
Yes, definitely.
If it is very aggressive, I think it is better to go for durability test, because compressive strength alone may not evaluate the durability of the blocks.
Concrete. Yes.
So I think most of the questions we have covered. Thanks for that wonderful session, Dr. Kalprasanna Sethi. Thanks for sparing your time with us. So this is how we complete today's webinar, the 50-second webinar, a very interactive session we had. And I'm sure that many of the professionals who have logged in also would have been able to get a lot of things. And if you want to listen to this presentation again, they can go to Facebook Live on Ramco Cements, or otherwise we will also be posting it on YouTube also. On Ramco Cements Mace team, we can go in and have a look at that. I think this would remain there, and I'm sure that you can revisit it, and you can also send an email to the speaker, and based on his free time also he can respond, or otherwise you can post it on our Facebook
Yes,
also,
yes.
and he will respond to that. I'm sure that we can have further more interaction on this topic.
This
Thank
is
you
the
so
starting
much.
only, so they
Yeah,
can
it is
put their question, so
correct,
it
correct.
can be answerable anytime. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sethi. It was nice. So tomorrow again we meet at 11 o'clock for a webinar on durability. So we will log in tomorrow at 11 o'clock for the 53rd webinar. So this is
Yes,
how.
sir. Once again, I would like to thank you, sir,
Thank you so much.
Engineer Anil Kumar Pillai, sir, GM of this Ramco Cement Limited, for giving this opportunity. And thank you, Suraj, sir, also. And thank you, organizer team. Thank you, all the participants, for their patience. And a special thank to Mr. Sumant Chandra Sahu, mess engineer of Jajpur. Yeah, he actually coordinated all these things, and he's sharing all the webinar links from the beginning itself when the Ramco started of all these webinar sessions. So
Okay,
it is very good sessions, and same thing I am also sharing the links with our students, so they are also getting very much benefit from these webinar sessions. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sethi, for your time, and have a good day. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good day, sir.